Yo, good morning everyone. Got Bleenu back with another build video today. This time around we are cooking up something for the Arcanist. It's been a while since I've done an Arcanist build, and in a new patch, there's no greater time when Arcanist had some changes. All in all, I really like this build a lot. Works super well. It's using a combination of some sets we used in the past, however, there's been some skill changes and things like that, as well as some other things that I like to put on here. But all in all, similar sets, some new, some old, some new skills on it as well. Let's just get into it. These are the attributes. My race, I'm a Breton. Lover for the Mundus. Orzogas as the food. Vampire stage 3, as always. Let's go ahead and get into the gear. Now I do have quite a few variations of this, but I'll show you the first one, and then I'll show you what other stuff you can do. For monster gear, we're running Kjolnars. As time goes on, I find myself really liking Kjolnars more and more. It's just super good. The procs from the damage that it gives is just super nice, and if it doesn't give you the damage, you're getting a free stun, so super great monster set. I'll show you what other ones you can run after this. Trainee on the chest, reinforced. Druids, legs, reinforced, both with tri-stack glyphs. For our set, we are running Serpent's Disdain. Nothing new here, really. Bread and butter, Arcanist. It's kind of been around for a while, as well as Dragon's Appetite. So if you don't like Serpents, you can run Dragon's Appetite with this as well. I just like Serpent's Disdain a little better. Dragon's Appetite will give you more survivability, I will say, though. We are running 3 medium in pen and 2 rings infused, Serpent's Disdain. That will be on both bars, or double barred essentially. For our Mythic, we're running Saint Seducer. I still really see no reason to take this off. If you have Death Dealers, you can run that. Sea Serpent's Coil, you can run that. You can run whatever you want here. Saint Seducer is just top tier for me, so I don't see any point to take it off. But if you don't have it, you can run something else. Totally fine. For our front bar weapons, we're running 2 Masters Perfected Maces, 1 Nirnhoned, 1 charged. Poison and disease glyphs, since they are essentially 2 of the status effects that Arcanist doesn't really have in their toolkit. We need to find some way to proc them, therefore we use these poisons. And with these poisons on our weapons, we will essentially be able to proc those status effects. Back bar, Vate, Ice Staff, Defending, typical. It's gonna help us proc Flame, Frost, and Shock status effects. So, literally perfect. Essentially on this build, we can get just about every status effect in the game, minus like Sundered and then the magic one. But even then, I think you can still get those. But this, these setups with this weapons right here, essentially just help us proc every status effect in the game. Serpent's Disdain will then apply those status effects for 16 seconds versus like the typical 4 seconds. So super helpful here. We have these poisons on the back bar that I like to run. They're just regular poisons with a cost increase, magic cost increase for 7.4 seconds. You don't have to run them. If you didn't want to run poisons, I do have just a weapon damage on the back bar, which works well, fine as well. Potions, tri-stat, and move abilities. I mostly just use the tri-stats, but now moving on from the main setup, I'll show you a couple different things you can change if you'd like. Monster gear wise, I have used both Balorgs here and replacement of Kjolnars. If you want to go less proc, then you can take Kjolnars off and run Balorgs. This will just give you higher base stats after you cast your ulti. And the other one that everyone's probably well familiar with, Marsalok. This is really more so the old setup. Ran this back when I did the dueling Arcanist like 8 months ago. Super great monster set as well. Really can't go wrong with any 3 of them. However, Kjalnar's for me is just something new. It's refreshing. It's fun. It's cool. It's easy to proc. Super fun. I mean, Marsalok might be a little better, maybe. It just kind of depends, but Kjalnar's is super good too. And I like the fact that this is a burst proc, something that Arcanist lacks. Marsalok is a dot proc, which we already have so many dots. It's nice just to get a little burst in there. Moving on from that, we're moving to our front bar skills. Rending slashes as always. We're running this morph that gives us the snare and essentially a guaranteed hemorrhaging status effect. You can run the other one that heals, but better just to go with this one, guaranteed bleed proc, and you can snare them. For our buff, recuperative treatise, however you say it. While it's on our bar, essentially we're just gaining major sorcery and brutality at all times. Anytime we deal an attack with the skill active, every 5 seconds we can restore 600 magic and stamina and generate a crux. Super helpful. Rune of Colorless Pool. Our stun gives minor brittle and minor vulnerability. Quick Cloak. I love Quick Cloak. It's such a great skill. Overall, major evasion, super nice to have. Satan Seducer gives us major evasion already, but this will just keep our uptime on it, and it may not seem like a lot, like 20% damage reduction from area attacks, but it is still super helpful. All in all, that's not the only reason we run it though. We get major expedition from this. It does a little bit of a damage over time around us, but a cool feature that some people may not know is that it actually does proc your weapon enchants for you. So just super nice to have on the bar overall. I'll show you some optional skills here in a second. 5th skill, Pestilent Soul. We are running this because we want crux generation, and what's super nice is you can put Defile on this and give Arcanist access to major Defile, which just goes well with our build. My previous build, actually, I will say, going back to real quick, did run Gerald Mountain. You could still run it if you'd like. It's still pretty good, and it fits the Defile very well. However, I think Kjalnar's is better. It's just some sets that are a little better, and it also depends who you're fighting against. You know, if you're fighting against a Templar, Gerald's is gonna work really well because you're gonna nuke a lot of their healing over time. It's really up to you, but anyways, front bar ulti, Dawnbreaker. You could go Thrive in Chaos if you want to. It's pretty good as well. Back bar, we are running Evolving Rune Mend for our heal. Really good heal, gives us crux. I see no reason to really have any other heal on our bar. It's better to stay in kit and generate crux if we can, in my opinion. Ellie Sus for our breach, and as I mentioned, it's going to give us burning, chilled, and concussion status effects guaranteed, so fits our build perfectly. Crux Weaver armor. It's going to apply minor breach to attackers, and it's going to give us major resolve. Every once in a while we can generate a crux, which is also super helpful. Impervious Rune Ward. Basically, Arcanist's crutch. The big shield. Super helpful. Anytime we have 3, 2, 1 crux, you know, whatever, we can consume it all and gain a burst heal off of it, essentially. Rune Guard of Freedom. This is going to give us minor resolve, minor protection, and if we drop below 50% health, we're going to get a little heal off of it and gain 3,300 armor and crowd control immunity. I don't know why people bother running Vigor on Arcanist. I think it's stupid. This skill is so stacked. It's way better than Vigor by miles, you know, but if you want to run Vigor, you can, but the skill is just so stacked, man. 3,300 armor and crowd control immunity for 7 seconds, as well as a burst heal, as well as minor protection, as well as minor resolve. I mean, you literally can't get better than this. These are like 2 reasons why Arcanist is so just tanky, just so strong, has so much great survivability. I will say, if you struggle with magic sustain, I could see you maybe running Vigor in place of this, but I would just run this and throw on a magic glyph. Backbar ulti, gibbering shield. Probably really wouldn't run anything else here. It's really nothing else in Arcanist kit. I mean, you could run the Glyphic if you want, but in any case, some optional skill choices if you want to. If you want to change it up a little bit, you can take Quick Cloak off and run Race Against Time if you'd like. I'd rather have Quick Cloak, honestly. I think it's just better overall. Granted, we don't get snare immunity from Quick Cloak, but I don't really need it. My survivability is so good. I mean, I'll just tank out the damage. But as I said, I like Quick Cloak here. Now another option, if you don't want to run the soul magic skill we had here, there is a couple cool options you can run. This fulminating rune is actually a pretty solid skill. I don't see a lot of people run it. I've tested with it. It's a pretty good skill and I like it overall. You can run the stamina version of the tentacle, or you can run the magic version. I've been messing around with the magic version a little bit. Essentially, whenever you have crux, it works kind of like beam, where if you consume all the crux, it buffs the damage. This is kind of underrated because I've had some really high tooltips with this, consuming max crux. But anyways, my next choice though, I'd say my second in line, if you didn't have the soul magic scribing skill that we had, would be to run this runic sunder. Also, another really slept on skill, you steal 2100 armor from the enemy that you put this on. You give minor maim to them. You also reduce your damage taken by 2% per active crux. Really solid skill. I don't see a lot of people running it, but in any case, you really could run any combination of these. This is not necessarily needed for a fact. It's just something really cool with the scribing that you could put on. And in fact, you'll probably see gameplay where I use these interchangeably. But otherwise, my bar stays pretty much similar to this. Let's go ahead and move on to the CP. We're running Fighting Finesse, Force of Nature, Resilience, and Duelist Rebuff. Not really anything I would change here. Pretty much. I mean, you could take Force of Nature off if you'd like, but I like it, so I leave it. Red CP, Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Bastion to increase the strength of our shields, and Survival Instincts. Nothing I'd really change here. Matter of fact, there's really not a flex spot here at all. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you tuning in and watching the video. Really close to 1,000 subs. Posted a Templar video yesterday. Had a lot of fun doing that as well. Arcanist is kind of in a little bit of a strange spot, I'd say, right now. They got the tentacle nerfed, which is kind of I don't think it was a necessary change, but I guess Zos felt otherwise. In any case, like I said, guys, really appreciate you checking out the video, and I will see you on the next one.